Cap is solving the problems today. Let's go! Earlier in Avengers, Captain America expels the Infinity Gloves, but the Illuminati don't like it, and he's erased his memory, but it turns out he remembers everything, and takes them back to the future for 48 years, where they meet future versions of themselves, but then the time stone works again, and moves them further into the future in 422 years, when Cap's eye was injected with a bomb, and then for 5045 years in the future, Franklin tells Roger how he feels killing his brothers. Cap appears in a black void for 51,028 years in the future, and sees arrows indicating where to go. They lead to a big building and Steve goes there. It reaches the building, but it can only be accessed by identification. It's identified, and it's going inside. Inside, he sees a robot telling him to put his hand on the holder for secondary identification. Identification begins, and spikes are leaking out of Cap. He doesn't understand what's going on. The robot tells Steve all his information, and asks if he's put too much on his shoulders. The robot says they've met before, and that each creature has a beginning, and her story is a remnant of Ultron's time. Now it's the World Core. Now they are free, they are perfect. Here the Avengers of this time appear, and Cap asks what it is. Artificial intelligence says they found something in Cap's body. They want to prepare Steve for a new state of being. They want to clear Cap's mind from his corrupt way of thinking, and put him in quarantine, but first they have to determine what's in his head. The captain says they know little about him and it won't be as easy as they want, and he gets out of the trap. They say there's only one acceptable outcome. Now there's a struggle going through space and time, and they're fighting what happened before. The world's core has fallen from the tree of Ultron's singularity. What they've created is not a miracle, it's a statistical impossibility. They have a plan to perfection. It's not difficult to travel to the future, but it's much more complicated to travel back to the past. The situation with time travel and enemies was getting worse and worse. But Kappa doesn't care about it, but suddenly 3 arrows come in his back. They caught him and told him they didn't care what he cared about, only what they needed. Black Widow's AI wants to see what's inside Steve. Cap remembers everything about the bomb. Captain's eye jumps right on her face and Cap is released. The world core is damaged. Failure in the middle of peace. The whole building is collapsing. Steve did everything he had to do here. And Time Stone appears again. Cap is transferred to the fractal temporal space. He knows what's going to happen next, he's falling down. But somebody's grabbing Steve's hand. It turns out to be Iron Man and says it's gonna be okay.